When you skillfully make music, you feel that the music is singing through you. There was an occasion once when a great choir master in England, Sir Walford Davies, was with the former Archbishop of Canterbury, William Temple, who was a great theologian. And he was training a choir of working men, factory hands or something, in singing. And he first gave them some hymn to sing that they all knew very well, and because they wanted to impress the Archbishop, they sang it with utmost vigor, and it sounded terrible. So then he got a professional choir, which he had there, to sing the same hymn, so that they could really listen to it. Now, he said, I want you to sing it again, but look, one point I must make clear is you must not try to sing it. Don't try. All you have to do is to think of the tune and let it sing itself. And then they did very well, and he turned to the Archbishop and said, that's good theology, isn't it? I got the story from the Archbishop. So apparently he approved. So this is the principle of Wu Wei. We have all kinds of common expressions, like roll with the punch, things like that, like Shakespeare saying there is a tide in the affairs of men which taken at its flood leads on to fortune. We have an innate folk wisdom which realizes that this is a fundamental principle. So whereas the emphasis in the Confucian tradition in China is on interference to a large extent, keeping things in order. There's a certain anxiety about the whole thing. The emphasis of Taoism is to trust in the course of nature, about which I have to tell you two Chinese stories. One is that a farmer, both about farmers and their sons. One evening, the farmer's son came in very, very late from the fields, after all the rest of the family was late for dinner. And they said to him, what have you been doing? Oh, he said, I've been helping the corn to grow. Next morning, when everybody got up, they found that all the corn was dead. Because what he had done late the night before was that every new shoot of corn, he had pulled it up a little to make it higher. Another story that is told is about the farmer who lost a horse, ran away. And all his friends came round, said, that's too bad. And he said, maybe. The next day, the horse returned, and it brought 7 wild horses with it. And they said, my, that's great. And he said, maybe. The next day, his son, in attempting to train one of these horses, was thrown and broke a leg. And everybody came around and said, oh, that's too bad. And he said, maybe. The next day, the conscription officers came around and rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And everybody came to congratulate him and said, isn't that great? And he said, maybe. So you see, this farmer was with the course of things. And he knew it goes this way and it goes that way. It goes up and it goes down. Because if it didn't go down, you would never know you were up. And if you try to be permanently up, or always right, you're trying to arrange everything in this room so that everything is up and nothing is down, or that everything's on the front and there's no back. And that is an impossible state of affairs. Well, now those, I'm going to stop here because I don't want you to take in too much at once, or to try to. Just to rehearse it, we've discussed essentially 3 principles. The one that we can't discuss at all, because that's basic, that's the Tao. The next is the principle of the mutuality, the interdependence of the opposites, that they are different but inseparable. And that goes, of course, for you as self and the world as other. You can't understand what you mean or sense or experience as self without the contrast